What is up? Coming to you live from the Cat House in Montebello, California. It's Dre's Geek Philosophy, the Monday edition, the January 27th edition, it was a rough day yesterday if you were from Los Angeles edition. I'm going to be slightly more quiet than I normally am because my son is asleep next to me over here. So I'm not going to be super loud, although usually noise doesn't wake him up, but I'm not going to take any chances. We like it when he's asleep. He's nice and calm and not screaming. It's week 3 of Rosa and Dre are parents, and it's actually, this weekend was a good weekend as far as the baby update goes. It was a good weekend. We're kind of figuring out, Rosa and I are figuring out a system for ourselves and our little tiger. But yeah, I guess we can't beat around the bush. In light of yesterday, Kobe Bryant, it's just a massive heartbreak in the city of Los Angeles right now, regardless of whatever your own personal feelings are about Kobe Bryant, whether you're somewhere else in the country and you don't particularly like the Lakers or whatnot, or if you're Angelino who watched him play basketball here for the last 20 years like myself. It was a pretty rough day in that regard. For us it was just that it's kind of weird because myself and my wife, we now with the baby, we wake up pretty early, and we usually just throw on the news. Oh, someone's waking up over there. Uh-oh. Daddy's dulcet tones are not putting him to sleep. We wake up and we throw on the news, and generally he likes listening to the news, and we're adults now, so we're staying informed. And it was around like 10 a.m. I remember we saw that there was a helicopter crash in Calabasas, and so me and my wife were like, oh, okay, oof, that's not good. But at that point they hadn't determined anything, and then I had left the house to go get us go be a dad and go buy a bunch of groceries for myself and my wife, and then I was driving on the way to the supermarket, and my wife texted me back, and she's like, Kobe was in the helicopter. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I pulled over, and I went to social media and saw it all over Twitter and all over Facebook. All my fellow Angelinos were aghast at this news, and so many people were hoping that it wasn't true. That everyone was hoping that it was a misinformed hoax, but unfortunately not. Hey, what's up, Kyle? How are you doing? I'm on week 3. And get the kid over here on the side. You're on your way to dadhood in the near future. Doing okay. In light of Los Angeles having a pall of sadness over it. But yeah, my wife texted me that the news, and I pulled over. I immediately checked social media, and it was just all over the place. People were doubting it because of the first source, of course, was TMZ. So immediately people were trying to dismiss it and hope that it was just a hoax. But unfortunately, no, it wasn't a hoax. And whether you're a fan of his or not, this is it was not a great day. And I have to kind of personally admit, I've always had a kind of weird love-hate relationship with the figure which was Kobe Bryant. I was a huge Laker fan. Nowadays, I'm more of a Laker enthusiast. I don't allow the comings and goings of the sports teams to dictate my emotions anymore, especially in light with the Chargers no longer being in San Diego, and all this stuff. I don't let it take over my emotions. So it was I still feel like I'm in shock. But back when I was a big Laker fan, it was just there's times where I loved Kobe Bryant. Oh, he's awesome, he's the greatest. And then when he ran Shaq out of town, I'm like, oh no, Kobe's a jerk. And then when they brought in Pau Gasol, and then he learned how to be a teammate. All right, cool. They got some championships. All right, he's okay. And then it was kind of I've always had this oh, he's a ball hog. There was always those sports incidences where I didn't like his attitude, but you always had to I always had to respect his game. I realized, especially throughout his career, like we were watching one of the best players. Like it's like if I had been, I did get. I mean, I'm old enough to have seen Michael Jordan in his prime, but like I got to watch the maturation of this guy who was only a year older than me. I remember when me and my boys were all in college, we were like, Kobe's almost like he was on the same age as some of my friends, and he was a year older than me. So it was kind of, we're like tripping out this guy who was like our age, who was like ballering up. Like he had to be damn good at getting to the NBA, and just got to see his entire career progress from the kid who shot 4 air balls against Utah to the kid who caught who tossed that alley oop to Shaq against Portland in that epic Game 7, and then the guy who made Shaq leave, and he suffered greatly with the crappy Laker teams for a couple of years, where everyone on sports radio was blaming him. It's like, it's all Kobe's fault. He wanted it to be his team, and it's only him and a guy named Smush Parker and Devin George, and I forgot the Caron Butler. It was not a great team if you were if you're a Laker fan. Those are some lean years, and then thankfully Jerry West did us a favor and traded us Paul Gasol. Everybody in the league was mad about that, and the Lakers got a couple titles against the hated Celtics. I mean, I remember I was literally. I remember like Game 7 against that second series against the Celtics. I remember I was at Staples Center because I was there for the Electronic Gaming Expo. I was there for E3, and Game 7 was happening that night, and it was just, I remember that the whole city, that whole area was just shut down. Probably not unlike what probably happened yesterday, as everyone was there paying their respects to Kobe. And I remember like just having to get in my car and leave. I had to listen to the game because they weren't letting anybody to stand around because it was Game 7. There was going to be a championship decided that night, no matter what. So there was going to be, the typical Laker fan riot, whether win or lose, I'm sure. I'm ready to drive away. I had to get a couple miles away. I think I stopped somewhere in like South Central and pulled over and listened to the game on the radio, just to hear them to defeat those hated Celtics finally. And that was, I believe that was 2010, because it was like 08 was when the Lakers went up against Celtics and lost. In 09 they beat the Magic, and then 2010 I remember that one was a nice piece of revenge for a bunch of Laker fans. And then I was like, all right, and and then the kind of the decline of the team. Like Kobe was still Kobe, and then unfortunately, I was like a few years later, we just kept getting more hurt. His knee was giving problems, and then his Achilles exploded. It was just crazy. Oh, that's right, Sam. That was the E3 where you were in the wheelchair because you had blown out your knee. That's right, in 2010. I think there's a photo on my Facebook of you getting pushed by Jonah down the concourse hall, you throwing your arms out. But it's just crazy to think that this guy who was such a huge figure in Los Angeles, and it's I really honestly, I was really respecting him a lot more like for his after his career stuff, because you could see like he really cared about his family a lot more. Like he wasn't going to like every single Laker game just hanging out there. Like he had retired, and like I think lately he'd been going to Laker games because he wanted to bring his daughter Gianna to the games, and like you can see it because you've seen all those clips of him and his daughter, and honestly it really broke my heart more that his daughter died as well. I mean, like it's bad enough that he passed away in this, but like his daughter, and then finding out today that there was 2 other kids on that chopper, and their parent, a set of parents, their kid, another mom and their kid, and then another coach, and then the pilot. It was just like that shook me so much when I heard all that, because it's just like I don't know what the circumstances of the crash was, but if the chopper is going down and you think you're dying, you're there with your child. I mean, I've only been a freshly minted dad for a couple of weeks, but that just sent chills down my spine just thinking about that, like knowing like in that situation that you're about to go down. All right. Okay. Hold on, I just got a note from my other producer here, Rosa. she can't be joining on the podcast right now. She's still recovering from that whole having a child thing. It is just the idea of like just you're gonna die. I mean, like he's 41. But like his child, she was 13. And there's two other little girls on that chopper, and it sucks just to think of that. I hugged my little boy a little tighter yesterday. It's like it. Just imagine. Yeah, see, right, yeah, Sam, yeah, that part killed me. Yeah, see, helicopters are a no-go for Kyle, and yeah, his last thoughts for him and his daughter. Ugh, and like those other parents in the chopper too. It was just, man. And then I saw on the news right now when I got home that like the reason he got the chopper, it wasn't a matter of flaunting. It was like the chopper was his way of being able to spend more time with his family, getting around Los Angeles. Instead of sitting in traffic for 4 hours, you can take a chopper and get somewhere faster. That way it was to spend more time. He did a podcast with Alex Rodriguez, and that I just saw that on the news a little while right before we got on here. And that just like it bummed me out, like the fact that they're using because he wanted to spend more time with his family, and then that ended up being the undoing. And it's just because a part of me yesterday was saying, it's like, man, why are you taking the chopper, bro? It's like sit in traffic with the rest of us, but he could afford it, and then logically it was just it was just he did it. He was using the chopper to have more family time. And when you think of it logistically, just the pure data on that, that's I guess that if that's what the goal was, he was trying to spend more time with the family. And this morning they're talking about the circumstances was of the crash, where it's like it was unsafe yesterday morning. There was too much fog. Like sheriff's helicopters were grounded. And I guess this pilot was just like, oh, he probably thought he could handle it. And like a 50-year-old pilot, I'm sure he thought his wily veteranness would get him through, so they can get back up to Newbury Park, again Thousand Oaks area, to get Kobe and the rest of the people back to the tournament that was going on at his Mamba Academy. I didn't even realize there was a whole Mamba Academy up there in that area. So yeah, right there, Sam, you talked to Vic the Brick today. I can't imagine Vic the Brick Jacobs. For those of you who don't know, he's a big sports figure here. Sam right there, he's a radio guy, and Vic the Brick was one of the biggest Kobe fans. He's such a Laker fan. He's such an LA guy. I can't imagine how poor Vic the Brick was today. He must have been a wreck. And then right there, Sam, you're bringing up Lamar Odom. That's another guy who was close, Also, and then Rolando right here on Facebook Live is providing us a little bit more. The pilot was given special permission, known as a special visual flight rules clearance, because of the weather in the area Sunday morning. Yeah. We still, we don't know exactly what happened. Like I saw, it was like at 9:45. Air traffic control lost contact with the chopper, and at 8:40 and 9:47. The chopper crashed. It's tragic because I was seeing a lot, because me and the wife, we ended up just watching the news all day yesterday, and then watched a bunch of the news this morning before I got out to work today. And it's just he wanted to do so much. He had a whole second career planned out. Like the man won an Oscar, and they took a poem that he wrote the year he retired. He announced his retirement on this website called the Players Tribune, which is where I guess the players themselves write the articles. It's a sports journalism website run by the players, and he wrote this very touching poem about his relationship with basketball. And then they took that poem, and when I got a bunch of animators, according to the morning news guy, there was some Pixar animators, and they animated up that poem, and they got a best animated short Oscar like a year or two ago. It was pretty. It's pretty crazy, and he wanted to do all kinds of things. Because they keep showing all these interviews that he had done in the last year about all the stuff that he wanted to do. I mean, I think he's coaching his daughter up. He wanted his daughter his daughter wanted to pick up the legacy. There's an interview I heard this morning where there's like Kobe was talking to Jimmy Kimmel, and they were like, "Oh, you don't have a son to carry your legacy," and then the daughter's like, "Nah, I got that right here. I don't need a son to carry the legacy." And there was a photo that broke my heart yesterday. I showed it was Kobe like chewing on his jersey, and there's a side by side photo of his daughter chewing on the jersey as what like the same way he did it mid game. And it's like she had that like mentality. She idolized her dad, and she wanted to carry it on. Like that, I guess like she had planned on going to UConn, University of Connecticut. One of the biggest schools there is for women's college basketball, for women's basketball period. And I guess she was planning on going there. And once she got to that point, about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, Sam, like he was lining up to have a bigger career after basketball, because he wasn't a dummy. He played basketball. He had physical skills, but he also had he was also very intelligent about it. I mean, I always argued that intelligence sometimes got in the way. His pride got in the way of his intelligence sometimes. But yeah, he's no dummy. He is not a fool, and he had ideas. He had plans. He had the resources to try to do things. But like I said, he created that academy that I brought up earlier. Like that, I saw this morning. It provides free sports for neighborhood kids. Now I don't know if the neighborhood of Thousand Oaks, or I mean maybe you can speak to it, Sam, since you were out there in the Westlake Village. I don't know if those are the kids that need free sports, but I imagine they probably brought in some kids from other neighborhoods as well for that Mamba Cat. I would hope and imagine that they brought in some other kids who needed that access to sports, that not a playground somewhere in the hood. Yeah, I saw the picture. UConn hung up a little jersey and a little memorial for Gianna. It's just, it's really sad. It's like, I don't know. I'm still trying to. There's a lot of different emotions to process. I'm not like emotionally devastated. They're showing people on the news just like devastated. People just breaking down in tears. People were trying to like drive up to the crash site. People were trying to like go anywhere close to like where he was. People were like gathering at Staples. People gathering at various there's murals of him throughout LA, and then apparently there's a mural that went up overnight somewhere else in LA, and it's just nuts. And just yeah, and again, now obviously this has always been Dre's geek philosophy, but again it's like Rosa and Dre's parent philosophy now, because being a dad, I keep looking at my little boy and just having like scary thoughts of like, oh my God, what happens when I'm gone? Like, what if I'm just taken away just suddenly? It freaking that moves me to tears. Like, and the thinking of the kids moves me to tears. My wife couldn't sleep last night. She kept waking up thinking of Kobe's wife and the other 3 daughters. I'm sure they didn't sleep. My wife, like, all her thoughts have been with them, that the family that has to try to move forward. They lost their father. They lost a sister. They lost a daughter. And those other families, a set of parents on there. He was a coach of a local college, and they went on and played a game today that I guess that the school had said, they went to the players and said, we can delay this game, they can cancel the game, but the players, they decided to go forward and play for their coach. And yeah. Oh, Sam, oh, that's right. Well, Sam, you're usually working Sundays at the radio station. You're the first person catching it. I don't know how you did it, Sam. Yeah, I know you're a very emotional man, and you are a dyed in the wool purple and gold Laker fan. So uh, I saw your post on social media yesterday. So I don't know I don't know how you're getting through it right now. Yeah, you were lining up Interviews Money and Victor Brickenteer. My boy, for those of you who don't know, if you're listening here or watching on Facebook Live, my boy Sam here is a man who wears his emotions on his sleeve and is a big Laker fan. So that must have been the roughest shift that you've ever worked in your life there at the radio station. Damn. And just it's just crazy seeing all the people. Like one of the images that I saw yesterday that really that I was like that made me realize how deep this hitting people. The player Tyson Chandler, they're showing like he wasn't even in the game, like he was just on the bench, and you just see him, he's just shaking his head. He just he can't make peace with it, because I think he was whatever team he's with, they were unfortunately already playing a game at that point in time, because at that point it was like 1:00 Eastern on Sunday, so some of the games start that early. Also, you didn't want to leave. They made you leave after 11 hours. You were working on that wall-to-wall coverage, I'm sure, on 570 and 640 here locally in Los Angeles. Seeing this other player, Tyson Chandler, just like, he was just like, you see him, he's still processing the emotions. And then last night, we had to, I guess we're gonna talk about the Royal Rumble next week. We're not talking. I watched the Royal Rumble kind of just to get away from it yesterday, because we'll talk about that next week. But the Grammys were happening right there at Staples Center, as everyone kept saying, the house that Kobe built. I'm sure some Laker fans would be like, "Oh, Shaq helped build that," but it was Kobe who was in there for his entire career. Well, he was at the Fabulous Forum for a few years, but we're not going to quibble about details. Yeah, Tyson Chandler, just seeing it, yeah. And the Grammys were there at the house that Kobe built. And normally they kind of like cover up all the sports stuff up there when they do those kind of shows, but they kept the lights on Kobe's jerseys, because they retired both. Both, he had 2 numbers in his career. He was 8 from his rookie year till about midway through his career, and then he changed over to 24, the second half of his career. And they kept the lights on the jerseys, and then with the opening number, when Lizzo did her piece, like, first thing she's like, "This is for Kobe," and they dedicate that. And then what really got me and my wife was when Alicia Keys, she was the host of the show last night. I don't know if all of y'all have seen this, but Alicia Keys was the host, and then she brought out Boyz II Men, and they started singing a little bit of "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday," and my wife was Rosa, she was just breaking down immediately, and I was just like, I had seen it, I had heard something like this was gonna happen, and it was just like, damn. It was just the emotions. I loved how they pan through the crowd, and like you just see like all these hard artists trying to like hold back the tears. See the ladies just like bawling, or ladies were trying not to mess up their makeup, because it's the start of the show. It's literally, they're like 10 minutes in, and they're just like devastating everybody with that, and it was just like, I couldn't believe. It was touching, but man, that was for them to bust out, the song very closely associated with Morning People, and just like, oof, it was a punch to the gut. It was a very emotional, like, punch to the gut. Although Wanya didn't have to go on the long. They did, but then he can't help himself. It's Wanya. If you know anything about Boyz II Men, then you know he's gonna hit that 1 minute trill. That was completely unnecessary, but it's beside the fact. I I still can't help but be me on this in spite of all this. But yeah, they did a because they were already gonna do a tribute to Nipsey Hussle, who was all his life was taken not long ago, and so they turned to a tribute to both Nipsey and Kobe, and yeah, you could tell it was just a rough night for anyone who even if you passively even cared about him or his legacy. I'm sure there's a lot of non-sports fans who probably didn't care, but thankfully they all kind of just kept to themselves, or thankfully I don't follow them on social media. And it was just you know what, and I almost hate to bring it up, but it was like it actually affected my job today. in a peculiar way. It affected my work. I work at a video game distributor. We sell video games, and if you obviously, Kobe was in a lot of video games. He had his own video games on the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo GameCube, like NBA Courtside, starring Kobe Bryant, and then he was on the cover of NBA 2K, the special edition of NBA 2K17, and it occurred to me yesterday. I'm like, oh man, I bet these vultures are gonna come, and I'm sure we're gonna sell a few. And I go into work today, and my boss is like, people are trying to clean us out. There's these terrible humans who are just like, I guess people trying to profiteer off this, and then there's people trying to buy 50 copies of the game. I guess I can't even bring myself to look on eBay to see what people are trying to do. These vultures, these opportunists. I understand if someone wanted to get it because they want to, buy it and keep it. But there's people on there trying to there's people sending in orders oh, I want 40 copies of your GameCube one. I want 100 copies of your N64 one. And my boss is like, nah, and we're just canceling order. No, we're not fulfilling these predatory orders. If there's people who just want to get a copy because they want it to have it, and not because they're trying to make a quick buck off of death. We were fulfilling those orders, but if there's people trying to put in giant orders, we're like, nah, dude, sorry, scalper, vulture, monster. We're not in that. We're a business, but we're not monsters, and we're not in the business of helping monsters. It was just crazy. Anything that we had that was Kobe related was just boom, people trying to buy it up, and then my boss is like, oh yeah, it's because at the end of the day, it's there was 400 copies of one of the NBA 2Ks we ended up selling, and it's because we didn't immediately. We didn't jump in and raise the price. We still the price for our copy of the game was still whatever a reasonable price is for a game that's 3 years old. Because right now it's on 2K20. That was 2K17, and we were still selling it for I guess $20-$30, and everyone else had it at 60. So all of a sudden, boom, everyone's trying to freaking, oh, this other place has it for really cheap. Go. And all of our wholesale customers were like, oh, give me 100 copies. And we're like, whoa, monsters. Whoa, no. And it's just trippy. We will, this dude, he was big. And then even to affect our little video game distributor, it's that people want to buy it all up. We had we happen to have these NBA 2K Kobe Bryant posters, and we're just all right, we're gonna let's take those down for now, I guess. And we don't know what to do with all this stuff. We're not profiteers. We're not a bunch of dirty pirates. And now it's just this careful balance. We want to make sure that people who buy this are buying this in the with the right heart. It's it's nuts. Yeah, this whole thing, like that. They've already postponed. To get back to what the way this is affecting the rest of the world, they've already postponed when the next Laker game. Hey, little buddy, you waking up, us? You waking up, little man? It's okay, Daddy's right here. Let me check the clock here. Man, it's like one of my friends, Ryan Diaz, was sending me an image this morning where one of the Laker players that he had got back, and he was just standing outside of the Staples Center, holding the Kobe jersey, and he was just like crying, like all of his peers, like right there, like where Sam was mentioning earlier, like all these coaches, all these people who I guess they're contemporaries, they competed against him, but at the end of the day, they all still respect each other. They're breaking down crying. This morning on the news, I saw Dwayne Wade, just an emotional wreck. He's right here. Sam said right here on Facebook Live, Jerry West, who's like one of the toughest, hardest men, was in tears on Good Morning America. I think I saw some images. I saw his eyes were so red, and it's just trippy. Hey, baby bear. Looks like my little son over here is stirring. Well, we'll see how much longer I'll stay on here, but yeah, it's the history teacher who I'm friends with on Facebook. He was like making the comparisons to like is making the comparisons to like it's like what happened to JFK long ago, where it's just like people are gonna remember where they were when they heard, because he wasn't just a basketball player. I mean, like he was the biggest star in the league when they were expanding into the rest of the world. It's not just a Los Angeles thing. It's not just an America thing. It's like there are fans across the world. I imagine right now the NBA is huge in China. I imagine there's fans all across there. There's fans across Europe. Fans in like one of my coworkers. He was telling me he's this old Mexican cowboy dude. He's I call him, and he was just like, he's like, Mexicans really love Kobe. And I'm like, well, he represent LA, he was the guy here in LA. Yeah, right there. Sam right there says on Facebook Live they might retire 24 across the league. I wouldn't be shocked. Much like much like what was done for Jackie Robinson in Major League Baseball. It's not an easy day. Because it's not just that a famous person passed away. It's just like someone who is like, it doesn't matter how successful or how rich you are, like it can just be taken away so easily. It kind of gives you that kind of that kind of like mental check, or just like you have to like you really reevaluate what you're doing. It's like, yeah, people die every day, but it's just like there's these people who like you imagine them to be beyond this. Me and my boss, I was joking with him. I kept saying like, oh, Kobe defied Father Time more than anyone else could. He fought against him. Father Time gets everybody. Father Time's grabbing me by ankles and feet right now and slowing me down. But yeah, Kobe, he was LA. He loved the Lakers as a kid. He wanted to be a Laker. He forced his way to Los Angeles way back in 1996. And he's the most, right there. See, Jai right here said Kobe achieved that Michael Jackson level of fame. Yeah, he was known worldwide. Sam right here said on Facebook Live, he's the most identifiable, most easily associated person to LA. And I saw Magic was like calling him the greatest Laker. Where like maybe I'm biased because I grew up with Magic. I was like, wait a minute, Magic. I mean, you're the greatest. I mean, but I guess it's a matter of opinion. If Magic believes it, then that's Magic's opinion. If Magic believes that Kobe was the greatest Laker, then it, he was the greatest Laker, and he inspired. He was an inspiration. I saw so many of my Facebook friends just devastated yesterday. I haven't seen this level of emotional devastation in a while. Because he was an inspiration and an icon to many. And yeah, it's just I'm still kind of like, again, I can't really put into words. I'm not like I don't feel as emotionally devastated as a lot of my peers, but I understand. I get it, and I empathize with everyone who is devastated, and that's where I'm at right now. Like, and like, again, it just it all circles back to like the fact that there the kids that were on the copter with him, not just his daughter, but the other two daughters that were there. That just the unfortunate circumstance that they were taken too. Like all 9 of those people that were taken. That really crushes my heart. Because I think that's what's the most devastating. This is the more see when Magic announced that this is exponentially worse than when Magic announced he had HIV. Magic has still been with us for the last 25. God, I was like, what, 25 years ago? I was in middle school when that happened, so that was 25, 26 years ago. I don't have the exact date. I don't have my corrections and retractions department here. I don't know if Kiet Pham is on providing his facts and figures to correct us here as usual, but yeah, I remember that was a sad day. But I feel like we were all sad because we thought Magic was gonna die like soon or immediately. But I guess thanks to advances in medical technology and his own, top-notch physical, capability, he's still around. Yeah, see right there. Yeah, no, 1991. Thank you. No one lived longer than 8 years at the time. Yeah, it's just when Magic made an announcement, we all thought it was a death sentence. But yeah, again, advances in technology. Yeah, we thought we'd watch him wither away, and then I remember like he came back to play with the Lakers. I think later on for at least for a minute, he came back for a few games. I remember him deking Latrell Sprewell out of his shorts. And yeah, but this is like that was sad, but this is just seeing this, like, the city is decked in purple and gold right now, but not for a positive reason. We all have to try to find hope here and try to find it within ourselves to be stronger in spite of this. I'd like to think that the big takeaway here is that we all want to try to be better and try to, like, we see this as someone who is trying to do so much, like that, like people should try to everyone should try to do better, like take that inspiration, like since he's not here to try to improve things, that everyone else who's still around should do whatever they can to try to help others instead of being divisive, and try to help your fellow people, because that's what he was. I mean, he was taking his energy and his resources. I mean, I don't know if he was necessarily doing the Michael Jordan creating a whole new shoe brand, but yeah, that's the right there, Sam. You make a point. That's the point. I feel like his second act was he wanted to do so much more. All the everything that you saw with him in the last what was the last 2 years that he had been retired. It was about 2 years that he's been retired. Like he was moving towards bigger things. He didn't want to be known as just a really good basketball player. I think he wanted to do more. And it just, the hand of fate decided no. But we can only hope he inspires others. Hopefully he can inspire some of his other peers to try to pick up the torch. I don't know what else I could possibly say about this. I mean, the players trying to go forward. I feel like a lot of players are going to be playing with a heavy heart, and if they don't, then I don't know who. Well, yeah, I know. I mean, it's not going to be. I don't know how to respond to you there, Sam. It's just it's not a matter of people doing better than him. It's a matter of like trying to carry forward. And yeah, they canceled tomorrow's Lakers-Clippers game. It's not a matter of doing what he did. It's a matter of carrying the spirit of what he wanted forward. Like the Mamba Academy is closed for until further notice, and a part of me feels like that's the worst thing you can do to take away that resource for the community. I know I know that the people there are probably devastated. I mean, all the games that they were playing yesterday stopped when they heard the news, but to take away a resource like that, I feel like that would be kind of. I mean, if the people need like a week or two to recover, but if it's like until further notice shut down, like when I hear the words "it's closed until further notice," that sounds like it's closed down for a long time. I hope that's not the case. I hope that they find a way to go forward and reopen that as soon as possible, to allow all those young people who use the facility to continue using it in his spirit. It's gonna be it's rough. It's like no one's gonna have it rougher than Vanessa Bryant and the other three daughters. No one's gonna have it rougher than them trying to get through this. I know a lot of people are just there are a bunch of, there's a giant right there, Sam right here on Facebook Live. So there's just a bunch of fans showing up. Yeah, there are a lot of fans showing up. I saw that they showed that on the news where there's a giant memorial set up outside. There's a little people just bringing stuff. I saw a clip of this kid who wrote a letter and left it there, and then the news lady asked him to read the letter out loud, and it was just like this little heartbreaking letter about how like Kobe was such an inspiration, and like he inspires a kid to not give up because Kobe wouldn't give up, so I can't give up. And then he read this quote like pain. There's a quote about pain. Pain is just your body letting you know that you're almost there. Something to that degree. But again, I hope that there's the players that the tribute they were doing, they were taking deliberate 24-second violations because Kobe's latter half of career, he was known as number 24. So it just, the video of Spurs coaches passing a towel, drying their tears. I saw a tweet from a player, Joel Embiid, who's like, Kobe inspired him to become a basketball player. He was just devastated. I don't know how much. I don't want to keep sounding like a broken record, but right now, Los Angeles has there's a dark cloud over LA right now, and a lot of my friends are really suffering. Sam right here, are at the top of the list of people I know who are heartbroken and devastated by this. But I'm just gonna wrap this up right now. I don't want to just keep repeating myself. No plugs, none of that stuff. We're just gonna wrap this up. You guys, if you got families, hug your family a little tighter. Tell your loved ones you love them. I'll just keep loving your loved ones. Because you never know when it can just be taken away. So just give them everything you got. You guys have a good night and take care of yourselves. We'll see if we can get back to normal next week. We'll talk about the Royal Rumble and some other nonsense and whatever nerd stuff happens between now and then. We'll see you next week.